Wow.
There we go. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We've got a bunch of comments already of people excited for the interview. We didn't see these earlier, so me and Nick are a bit shocked here. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Just Success. And today I'm really excited to talk to you guys. And I'm here with the esteemed Nix Eniego. He's here.
Okay.
Nix started earning online at 16 years old. He's now in his mid 20s, right? You're
25, just turned 25.
25. Yeah.
2
So
weeks
right
ago.
there, right smack there in the middle. He's in his mid 20s right now. So he's has around 9 years of experience online, freelancing, marketing, and a little bit of business. And he's here today. I asked him a couple of weeks ago if he'd like to share his story. If he'd, I'd be, it would be, it's my honor to interview him, and he's here today. Nix Eniego, and I guess we can just get started and with your origin story, Nix. How did you become the mutant or the person you are today?
This is interesting. Hey, by the way, thanks. First off, I would like to thank you, Jason, for inviting me here, and super want to share a lot to the listeners, members of the Flip community. Very happy to share with you guys today. So also thank you for the birthday greeting from Clarissa. Anyway, so I guess I'll start by sharing more about myself a little bit because I understand not everybody knows me. So my name is Nix, and yes, I just turned 25, but my story really started like long, long ago. So I was 16 years old. Actually, it started earlier than that. When I was 12, when I was 13, I was. You guys know NBA cards, right? Like and Pokemon trading cards. So I had two hobbies when I was a kid. It was play Pokemon, Pokemon, the Game Boy, and then trading cards, and then also NBA trading cards. So I could basically to make that story faster because it's not super important. I was trading NBA trading cards. I would trade them for like my high value cards for low value card plus cash. So it's easily 2,000 to 4,000 pesos every time. I'd be in the mall, Glorieta mall specifically. So anyway, when I was 16, I wanted to make money online. And I think this is something that's been shared by almost everyone who you've interviewed. Like the magic happens when we type the magic words, how to make money online, click enter. Like that's also the same how it happened for me. So I saw that, wow, okay. So I saw a long list of ways to earn money online. There's affiliate marketing, there's SEO, there's content writing, there's blogging, there's AdSense, like a lot. And I didn't know where to start because like, wow, diba? Parang grabe tong list. I don't know what to do. But I went with something that's a bit closer to my heart. And this is one of the things that I want to share with everyone to do it. So what I did was I went with content writing. The reason why I did that was because when I was in grade school and high school, I was winning essay writing contests. I was like a writer. So I chose something that I thought, content writing, kaya ko to. I think I can do this because, I write essays.
And this was doing freelance content writing.
Yeah, freelance content writing. So at 16 years old, because I got rejected, I applied as a BPO's part-time agent. I got rejected multiple times.
You're
So
16.
yeah, no, but I thought that was okay. I mean, like I'm 16, but yeah. So I did the writing thing, and I got my first ever pay was like $1.50, which is like slavery for one
Yeah.
500 word article. But I did it. Like I did it because it was like the first $1.50 that went into my account was like, wow, it's possible to make money online. I'm like, wow. Um, but then you know what? That guy scammed me actually. Scammed me for like $115. He didn't pay me, and I was like, imagine I wrote a lot of articles. How many articles was that to get 115? I suck at math, so I can't answer. But like, I wrote a lot of words. He didn't pay me. I was like, man, I was like so down. But what I did was I searched him up. I like looked at where his family lives, where his kid goes to school. Like I stalked the guy. The guy lives in Pakistan, by the way.
Scary.
I all that information. I Skyped him. I showed him pictures of his kids. Like, I know where your kids go to school. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then apparently the wife messaged me and was like, I'm sorry, my husband had to put you through this. We'll pay you the money. We'll PayPal you the money now. So they ended up paying me $150. But so like I made like $40 extra. But after that, I was like, there's no way I deserve only $1 every article. I was like, no way. So I researched and joined internet marketing forums. This is where I learned almost everything I know now. And basically, I discovered 3 letters, SEO. I was like, what's SEO? How come people who know SEO get paid more than me? I was like, no way, what's this? I have to learn this. So I learned it. And then,
Warrior Forum?
no, I hated the Warrior Forum because everyone there was newbies. I was a newbie. I was learning from, like, we're all newbies. That's why I joined another forum. Okay, I'm gonna go on record right now, just for Jason, just Jason's throw. I was at blackhatworld.com.
Yeah, I was thinking that because that was the other big forum at the time. So.
That was I was in Black Hat World. I was super active there. That's where I got my start, really. But there's a lot of misconception on that website. So just to clear it out, if just because I'm there doesn't mean I'm black hat. It's just that there are a lot of smart people there, and you really learn from them. And but yeah, so that's where I kind of got my start, and then I joined Fiverr. I also on Fiverr I built like a music promotion business. I was promoting artists that you guys know right now, but we didn't know before. So it was like I would write.
Can you name anybody?
Yeah, sure. So I shared this with Marv's podcast. What happened was someone would order on Fiverr. Maybe it's their manager or maybe it's their marketing person. I definitely can't claim that I worked with the artist. Maybe it's them, but I don't know. I'm sure that they wouldn't do that. But like
Who are the artists?
So like Lupe Fiasco, like I would like what I did basically was like I created buzz. I created it's basically what I call hybrid influencer marketing before it was a thing. So I would go on forums, talk about Lupe Fiasco. I was like, is Lupe Fiasco the best lyricist of all time? Just creating conversation. He doesn't need to be the best lyricist of all time, but if you plant that to the minds of people, right? Like, oh, maybe Lupe Fiasco is the best. Like that's what I was doing. So that was Lupe Fiasco. There was Kendrick Lamar was like the biggest wow to me because. Okay, another story for you guys. I wanted to be a rapper actually for some time. Like I was into that thing, the flip out. I was into that thing. So I was like deep into it. But after that phase, I completely plugged away from being a rapper. So I stopped listening to hip hop music. Okay? So one day I was just like fast forward many years, I was just walking, I was going to Spotify, heard the music, and then I saw the name. It says Kendrick Lamar. I was like,
you didn't know who Kendrick Lamar was?
I like this music. I was like, yeah, cool music, Kendrick Lamar. Cool. And then I was like, Kendrick Lamar. I was like, wait, this was the dude I was writing about 3 years ago, like on forums, like hyping him up. I was like, oh, and then I was like, I researched, and then I learned that he was like super famous and like, dude, like I was his hype man before this blew out. So it was super, super cool experience. But yeah, those are some of the top 2 guys that you guys are familiar with that, I've had the privilege of like being a guerrilla marketer for. But there's other local artists in there, a couple R&B. But yeah, anyway, so it was that, the Fiverr thing. And then I grew out of that and started doing my own SEO and content marketing services at scale. So I hired people. It was basically an agency operations until, fast forward to now. I'm here right now doing 2 things, basically. One is to lead. I'm leading marketing for one of the fastest growing companies in the Philippines called Sprout Solutions. And then on the other hand, I'm also managing my own growth marketing company. So that's it. That's where I'm at. And basically that's my origin story.
Nice. So you're what I got from that is you wanted to rap, and then you helped out. You brought Kendrick Lamar to where he is today.
I didn't, but like I didn't, but we did a lot of like forums. Like it was super crazy. I would just go on forums and like talk about this dude that nobody's ever heard of, basically. And if you like Google or like search, like go way back machine, whatever, you'll see those old articles, old forums. Like I was one of those guys just making fake hype. But it was good that he actually became popular.
Yeah. The grassroots marketing, and people still do it now. They're job posting for people to frowned upon for sure. But people do it in Quora, in Reddit, Facebook groups, influencer marketing like on Twitter and Instagram. It's a pretty common thing because it still has the same effect, I'd say. Now, unlike SEO, which has changed a lot. Yeah, it has changed drastically. So the stuff, guys, don't go on Black Hat World right now and try to learn things there. I wouldn't suggest
I would,
doing that.
I would recommend that.
Yeah, not now. Like 10 years ago, yeah, it was good, but not now. I wouldn't recommend doing that because SEO has changed so much. But the things like Nick was talking about on Fiverr, people still do that. I think there are still Fiverr gigs for that right now.
Yeah, so definitely.
So your journey, you went content writing, SEO, and then you did some guerrilla marketing, market. You mentioned Fiverr. Aside from Fiverr, did you use any other freelance platforms?
I used what was this called? Was it Odesk before Upwork?
Oh yeah, Odesk.
I used Odesk only twice. One was to do a voiceover, to dub, so not to write. I was just like, someone got me to dub. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then the other was for a copywriting role. Hi, Grips. So one was for a copywriting role. This girl had a website. She was building a marketing agency in Australia, and she wanted me to do the copy of everything. And I was like, that was my first copywriting gig because I was doing articles easily, right? So she hired me for like 4 hours. And then that's when I like that you asked that because I just realized it now that was a big turning point for me. This was when I realized that I shouldn't work out on an hourly rate, basically. I was like, this girl paid me just for 4 hours and I finished her entire website because I was just that good. I was like, no way. I made like, I don't know, my rate then was like $15 or whatever. So I basically made just 15 times 4. Again, I suck at math, so I can't do that. 60, whatever. Thanks. That's my weakness. I really don't do numbers well, except if it's analytics. So $60, and I did an entire website's copy. I was like, no way. This isn't how it's supposed to be. So that's when I started like branching out, making fixed packages, getting what I think I'm worth, and all that, all those things. But other than that, it was just Fiverr that I stayed on for a little while. And most of my clients were really outside of Fiverr. Most of my clients were really from just word of mouth, from forums, word of mouth. Oh, like happy client refers me, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's how it usually is. Though, like you start off in these platforms, you get some experience, like what you did, before you need to get. Interesting experience in those small things, those smaller realizations at the beginning, when you're a couple of years in freelancing, those make huge impact on like where you are today, on the rest of your freelance business and freelance career. So, because the thing is, and the reason I ask that is because a lot of newbies say, I don't like using the platforms, I don't like using Upwork. And they want to go like with direct clients immediately. So what advice?
Yeah. So for me, I'm right now at this level. I'm no longer relying on the platforms. But before I got here, I was on freaking Fiverr.com. Okay, and there's no shame on that. And for a while, I tried dubbing, doing voiceovers on freaking. I think the question was what to do with the platforms, right? And I started with Fiverr and not so much Odesk, but I was there for a little bit. But But what I would suggest to people here who are listening is, there's no shame in starting your career, or there's no shame in in getting started with, let's say, Fiverr, or would say oh the Upwork, I think. Yeah, so there's no shame in being in Upwork or like Fiverr or other freelance websites. It's good to start there, actually. I think like getting that first feel of getting a client, like that first win, that first, this client's mine, this, I got the money, this, like, I'm earning online now. I think that's a good feeling, and it's easier to get that feeling when you put yourself in platforms or marketplaces like that. I'm not saying that that's the only way, but like just do what I would advise is just do whatever it takes to get that first client. Whether that's being on like Fiverr or Upwork, or whether that's on going to your Facebook friends, like one by one, you're like looking at who has a business and then messaging them, whatever it takes. You just need that first client. And then once you build that body of work, now, okay, I now have a portfolio. I now have a blog post that I wrote for someone. I now have a graphic design work. Then you can now brand yourself as someone that, okay, I'm a graphic designer, or I'm a content writer. I help businesses, blah, blah, blah. And then you can now build like your brand, and you can like survive even if you're not in Upwork or whatever. So I think that's the path that I would suggest for people to go to.
Yep, and I want to echo what you said as well. When I started out, like a lot of people say things about how I charge $5 a minute when I do like business consultations, which is like $300 an hour. But I started out charging $5 an hour like 7 or 8 years ago. And I guess one thing that I can add to what Nick said is when you start with freelancing, when you start with something new, usually you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself, like in doing something new. You're usually scared, and it's all when you're trying something like this that's totally different. You still have a lot of learning to do. You still have a lot of mistakes to make, and that's what the freelance platforms allow you to do. They let you make those mistakes, and I guess most importantly, they help you build your confidence so that you can charge higher. You can, like what Nix also did, he learned to charge package rates instead of hourly rates. And then you can work with direct clients to forums and so on. So I do recommend, just getting those first couple of months of getting platforms or low paying work first as experience. But of course, if you can charge $100 an hour off the bat, like right away, then go ahead. And I'm not gonna say charge $5 first if you can charge 100. But
Right.
for most people, yeah, you'd have to start. You have to start somewhere. You have to start at the bottom of the ladder. You can't start on top right away. Oh, by the way, guys,
There's
if you haven't, Nick's your thing.
Oh yeah. So look, this I just wanted to add. There's one super underrated thing about what we're just talking about right now. The underrated thing that no one really talks about by starting with a low paying job and then getting the work done is that if you take a low paying work, let's say you got paid $5 for an article, which is not that bad, but like you can charge easily like higher than that. So let's say you charge $5, you finish the work, you did it for like 5 clients, and you now have 5 beautiful articles that you've written for 5 brands, right? You earned what, $25? But this is the underrated thing no one talks about. One thing that you get from that is not even the experience, it's not even the portfolio. It's the confidence. You are now confident. You are now like, I worked with 5 brands. I created 5 beautiful blog posts that's driving traffic to the website. Now you have that confidence. Once you have that, you can now put yourself out in the market and be like, I can write content. This is my price. This is my rate, right? You can now be like that. And you got that confidence because you worked those low paying jobs. So don't think of it as like, it's just $5. Why I heard that I should be charging $100. Like, no, like take it and then take whatever you get from that, the experience and the confidence. And then once you have that, you can be like, yeah, so my rate is now $50 per article. So what up? You can be like that, right? So that's one thing that I think is, it's not a lot of people talk about because we don't really realize it until we're like high in like end in the end game, but are like way past the newbie stage. But it's a good thing to take note of.
Yeah, because a lot of freelancers, a lot of newbie freelancers that I deal with, they share with me that they don't feel confident. Even even those that go through the training sometimes, go through the course that I have, they say, I went through all your materials, I did all the assignments, I passed all the quizzes, I got 100% score in the quizzes, but I still don't feel confident. And when you're starting out, you really just have to do it.
Right.
Nike's motto is just do it. Even when you're scared, even when you don't believe in what you're doing. Like when I first and we're talking about this quite a bit, but I think it's important as well. When I first made my website for it, I thought, this website sucks. It's horrible. They're not gonna like it. And then I saw the client, hey, they use the website. They really like the website. So, well, okay, wow. Because I didn't believe in my work. But when I saw that the client they liked the work, they used the work, they actually made that their website, then that's when I was like, okay, so I guess I can really do this. I can actually make money. And my first website was like $300. So it was like nothing. And I charged $300 because I didn't feel I was worth any more than that
Yeah.
at the time. But like I a couple of well, like a year later, more than a year later, the same website, I'd probably charge like $2,000 to make the same website, and I probably could have charged a lot more than $300 for the first time. But yeah, it's that confidence. It's you just have to do it. Just jump in and do it. If you lose, there's nothing to lose. There's you gain the experience.
We won. Cool.
Uh,
So
Okay, and by the way, guys, if you have any questions, let us know. Let us know what you think. A lot of people are agreeing with what you said, and I guess I added as well. Like Charm saying super agree, Bong's agreeing, Clarissa
they're
exactly.
like,
Um,
man.
someone said hi, Marv. So which one of us?
Oh, maybe because it
Which one
mentioned
of us is?
I was in the
Oh
podcast.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so you guys you shouldn't worry too much about the rates when you're starting. I know this is like super against the grain of some of the influencers, like, but the first task, like all of us, like I have yet to meet someone who was like his first ever gig was like a $5,000 thing. I show me, like, I don't know, I don't know anyone. Like I freaking started with $1.50. Jason probably started with like some other crazy low rate as well, but you start somewhere. You start somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I started a bit higher because I was doing full time work as well, so I kind of priced at $5. And I do teach, like what I teach them in the boot camp is $5 is a good place to start. Like since they get, and the reason why, let me explain a little bit. People might be raising pitchforks, but the reason why I ask our students to start at $5 is like we give them hands-on experience and they have portfolio items. So there's like they have like 6 to 10 items of portfolio that they put already. So you can start at $5, but it's a suggestion, and some people still start at like $3, which is the lowest rate right now. But
Right.
we've seen people like exceptional people, because I couldn't have done it if I just was a newbie. We've seen people charge like $10 like as newbies, and they were able to get hired.
For sure.
But
Yeah, I'm not
it's the confidence level.
not encouraging people to go out and be like, yeah, my rate's $1.50. That's crazy. But just charge some and then move from there. Once you get the confidence, once you get the experience, like, but don't wait too long, okay? Don't be like, I'll be doing this for a year. Like, give it a week, 2 weeks, or a month, and then it'll click at some point for you. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm ready to take the next level or something like
Yeah, what we see sometimes, what I see sometimes is I've seen freelancers who've been like 3 years, 5 years, and even like 8 years freelancing, and they're still charging $3, $4 an hour. It's unfortunately it's very common. When I did a survey a couple of months ago, it's very common Filipino freelancers that they feel like, I'm okay doing this, and I'm not learning anymore. And well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If you're happy, then that's okay. But you can do so much more. Is what I'm trying to say. Honey Dabo was saying treat it as an OJT, like earn while learning, like those first few months. Learn and use the experience to charge more in the next job.
Right.
Right. Totally agree with that. Charm is saying charge based on the skill set that you have. So as you gain more experience, you're gonna learn more and be able to charge more. Like Nix right now, you're known as you're an expert in online marketing now. That's like really your thing. So what was your journey? Because we kind of skimmed over that a little bit. But what was your learning journey? I know you started with content writing, SEO. You did a little bit of copywriting, but that's, when we talk about online marketing, that includes like so many different things. So what advice would you give if somebody wanted to become you?
This is crazy because it's actually insane. Like a lot of people will say you got to pick a niche. You got to be like, okay, I'm good at videos, or like I'm good at copywriting, I'm good at writing emails. Like that's the general advice really, is picking a niche, because it's just easier for you. Like I would rather encourage people to pick a niche and not try to be like me, because you have a higher chance to succeed. And I'm not saying that as an arrogant person, like super no bragging whatsoever. I'm just saying it how it is. It's easier to succeed if you're known for one thing versus like being a generalist of sorts. So the reason why I'm like an online marketing person, whatever. I don't want to say expert, but like the reason why I'm that is because I spent 9 years doing it. 9 years. Like it's crazy, but that's the truth. It can't be like you hear this podcast and I'd be like, I want to be like Nix. I want to learn everything online marketing. Dude, you're gonna fail, because it took me 9 years. I wasn't this in day one. I started content, and then I learned SEO, and then after that I learned social media. It wasn't like I learned everything on day one. It was like gradual. It was 9 years in the making, basically. So my advice would be pick one thing, just one thing. You want to be the content writer. You want to be the blogger for restaurants in the Philippines. You want to be the tech blogger for whatever, or like you want to be the guy who does videos for startups. Like pick one thing and be the best at that. And then once you're the best at that, you can branch out, because once you're the best at something, you can do anything. You can basically sell horse poop, and then people will buy it because they know that you're a freaking amazing person at what you do, or what you're really good at. So that's kind of my advice, to be honest.
Yeah, start with one thing. That's right. Start with one thing and become an expert, and then you can move on. Like what Nix is saying, you can translate those skills elsewhere as well. Clarissa wants to say, hi Nix, I used to win essay writing contests before too. I know I can write. I love to write. However, I have a problem with consistency. Any advice?
Yeah, super. So my advice is for you to write every day. Like it doesn't need to be a client, just you writing about anything every day. You can write two things every day. One, I want you to write for yourself, whether that's on your notebook or your own diary or your own blog, which no one reads about. Maybe it's your personal life, whatever. Maybe you saw your crush, or I don't know if you have a husband, sorry, but like whether it's your love life or whatever, write it down somewhere that only you can read, only you. And then the other one is write something for the consumption of the public. Blog on your personal Facebook profile, like talk about something that you want to talk about. If it's about writing, talk about your journey to being the content writer, talk about consistency, talk about what you heard me and Jason talk about today. Like, write something every day on your personal profile. Like, write like, talk about your journey. Like, I want to be one of the best writers here in the Philippines, and I'm struggling with consistency. And the reason why I'm writing this post right now is because I heard from the show of Jason and like Nix guesting there, the blah blah blah, and like, write that down. That was your first content, and then the next day. So this is step two. This is my day two of being more consistent. Today I want to write about, how how Facebook is really like, whatever. I don't know what's your story, but like, just write every day. Don't stop, don't stop, because that's consistency is just practice. Like, practice every day. None of the greatest writers of all time became great just because like, ooh, I'm bored, I'm great. Like, no, they actually wrote every day. That's the only secret. And then the third advice, you did say you love to write, so I assume you also love to read. So just try to read one new book every week or every month, just so you have, fresh ideas every time, and like, you're always learning. Like, read books, read articles, go on medium.com, read some nice compelling articles there, and then yeah, consistency. So do those three things. Who is this? Who asked? Clarissa?
Clarissa.
Clarissa, do these three things, and I guarantee you, you'll be one of the best writers this time next year. Do that. Like, you'll be one of the best writers that we know this time next year. Quote me on that. Quote me
I
on
totally agree. I totally agree with what Nick said, and let's like make a picture of Nick's. You'll be one of the best writers.
that.
Clarissa.
You will be. You will be.
And just to add to what Nick said, I totally agree with what he said. You just have to practice. You just have to do something every day. And it's hard. It's hard at first because some days you won't feel like it. You'll really feel like, I don't want to write. Maybe I'll write tomorrow. But the thing is, when you start doing that, it's like, oh, tomorrow, tomorrow, and it becomes next week, next month. I've been there. I know how it is. So even when you don't feel like doing it, you have to do it. Even like, I don't feel like writing, but I promised Nix, and Nix said I'd become the best writer, so I have to do it. So that's what I want to add. And we do have, I don't know if you know about this, Nix, but we do have a writing challenge in the forums. We're currently on day 21 right now. And you can start at day one. If you haven't started yet, you can go all the way back to day one. We have a writing challenge every day. It's going to go on for like the next week or so. And it's there to help people improve their English and improve their writing. So if that's something you want to do, check out our writing challenge where we have like one forum post.
I'll check it
every
out.
day.
I haven't posted on the forum, but I made an account, so I'll check that out, and we'll see. I'll encourage you.
Yeah, you want to
there.
start on day one, Nix?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, I think
okay. Yeah, I look forward to you. Yeah. I clicked that by accident, but I look forward to you posting in the forum.
Yeah, I'll post.
Love to have you there. There was somebody. Oh, here we go. From Juliet Magallanes. Is it advisable to tell clients that you are a newbie? How will you deal if you're new and the client wants to have a lower rate? She also loves, right?
Juliet, no, don't. I wouldn't say. Why would it even be a conversation? Like, don't think of yourself as a newbie. That's your own thing. You know that you're a newbie. They don't know that. And I'm not saying that you have to lie about your experience. Don't mention it. Don't be like, I'm Juliet and I have 10 years of experience. Don't do that. Don't lie. But like, you're Juliet and hi, I'm Juliet and I can write 5 blog posts for you for your blog and get you more readers. You didn't lie. You're telling the truth. But you didn't disclose that you're a newbie. So one of the things that I did basically was, because this is a reality. So it's a good question. This is a reality. No one, but like, you have a lower chance of landing actually good clients if they know that you're a newbie or like this is your first job. No one's going to get you for that. But here's the thing. So there are 2 things that you can do. One is, then don't be a newbie. What I mean by this is, before you take on that client, build up your portfolio, find friends or maybe family members who have a small business, work on their thing, do some freelance work for them for a little bit, and then you now have experience. So you're not a super newbie anymore. You actually know how to do client work. because you did it for free for your mom or your whatever. And then what Rick said, fake it until you make it. That's true. I mean, but I don't want you to lie. So nothing beats the truth, really. So the truth is undefeated. I like fake it until you make it, but aside from that, like the truth is undefeated. So the truth will always win. The truth will always prevail. So given that, just skirt around the issue. Like don't tell them that you're a newbie. So one, build up something, a portfolio, so you're not a super newbie. And at the same time, you can just tell the client that you're gonna do this work for this amount and never talk about your experience. Like you have nothing to lose. If they ask you, which is I doubt this will ever be asked. Like, is this your first time to handle a client? Like, no one's gonna ask you that. So it shouldn't be in your head right now. But what I would advise you is really do some work for your family or friends, just to get you some experience, so that you know how to do some client work. So that when you do meet a client, you have an idea how it works, and you're not a newbie now.
Yeah, and I do want to reiterate what you said about creating your own experience. Create your own portfolio. Even if you're writing, you can show the blog posts you wrote. If you followed Nix's advice of writing every day, then you can say, I have like 6 months worth of, well, let's say 1 month, 1 month worth of blog posts here, and you can show your personal blog, you can show your samples, and that can be like your experience. Or if you're doing something like graphic design, then you should be practicing creating graphic designs, right, creating logos, and those are things that you can show clients. So you won't be like a super newbie. Now, I want to apply for graphic design, but I never have experience. I don't know how to use Photoshop, grabe naman, but you should have like at least something to show for your own practice.
And I know someone who's like, I don't want to give people ideas, or maybe I do. It's up to you guys. Yeah, you can always apply whatever we talk about here. But I know someone who charges $30, $30 to $35 for every one basic social media post layout, and that person only uses Canva, not Photoshop, just Canva. If you're listening right now, you don't know what Canva is. Canva is a free tool for you to design whatever, even if you don't have design experience. So if someone is making $35 per one simple design that takes 3 minutes to do on canva.com, what are you doing? Like, go there and like, if you're into that thing. But basically that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand some people, like you're struggling to jump, hop from that earning zero to like your first $10, but really it's just doing something. It's just making things happen for you. Because I think someone asked how long I waited till I got my first client, and I think this is a good lead into that. Someone asked how long I waited. So the answer to that is I didn't wait. I made something happen. Like I made sure that I want to make money online now, and I'm gonna create that opportunity. So I approached someone and asked him if I could write for him. So that's pretty much it. So I didn't wait. I made it work, basically.
Yeah, you can't just sit there waiting. And if I quote our pastor in church, he says, if you're looking for a job, you can't just pray and a job's just gonna appear in front of you. That's not gonna happen. You have to, aside from like praying, you have to go out there and actually take action and do stuff to get a job. So you can't wait.
Right. Do your best, and God will do the rest, right? Yeah, so is your best just sitting around doing nothing and then waiting for God's not gonna be like, yo, I got you. No, he's gonna like what? He's gonna look for you and like wait for you to make something happen. So yeah, you have to create experiences, like what Jason said. You have to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, and then it's gonna happen for you.
Exactly. Jennifer is asking, hi Nix and Jason, what's the best way to ask for an increase? My rate is $3.50 an hour. Working with the same client for almost a year. I do social media marketing tasks most of the time.
Okay. Okay. I'll try to answer that first. So Same client for a year. Go and look back to where the business was before you joined them. It's easy. If it's a for social media work, just look at their Facebook timeline before you hopped in and did something, right? You can tell them, this is where you were before I came in, and this is where you are now when I started. Showing them how much value you were able to give, to bring to their business, justifying how much ROI you've been able to give. And I'm not talking about more likes or whatever. I assume you've been working with them for a year, so you know that sales went up or whatever. So showing them that value and telling them, be honest with them. I've been with you for a year. We've done amazing things. This is where we were before. This is where we're at now. And to be honest with you, I'm getting a lot of opportunity. I'm also working a lot of opportunities. A lot of brands, are also. I'm considering other brands, but I really love working with you. But this rate right now doesn't work for me. $3.50 doesn't work for me, based on the results that I've given you the past year. I deserve a raise, and I think I should be paid 10. I don't know what rate you have in your mind, but I think I deserve $10 an hour now. And then if they say no, that's not happening, then that's kind of a weird client, because either he didn't see value or he's just a bad guy. But what's one thing that's gonna happen when you write him that nice email, add some more words. I was just like, that was just me. But when you send them that,
Verbatim.
yeah, when you send, I was like, maybe she's writing up. But when you send him that thing, and you tell, it's better if it's a call actually. When you tell him that this is the value that you're giving, the worst case scenario for Juliet will be, he's not gonna give you the $10, but he's gonna meet you halfway. There's no way that he's gonna stay at $3.50 after you've shown him the kind of value, made him realize this is the kind of value you've given him. There's no way. Worst case, he's gonna meet you halfway, and then if you're happy with the halfway, then stay, right?
I agree. If your client is reasonable, even if they're low on budget, and every time I've asked for an increase, if a client couldn't afford it, they always say hey, can we meet in the middle? Especially if you back it up with numbers. But you should do your homework first before you get on that call or you send that email. You should have the numbers. It's a lot more. It's not a must, but it's a lot more powerful if you have the numbers. If you say, you know what, last year you were at 100 likes. Now you've got 500 likes or whatever, or 5,000 likes or whatever, and you show them the difference, the effect that you had on the business, then that will really solidify your argument that you deserve a higher rate. So good stuff. Pinky is agreeing. Idea is one thing, execution is everything. Nika Vidapeji is saying she's making more effort. She just posted after listening to your interview with Marv. Cynthia, you just have to practice every day, right? Just keep swimming every single day. Clarissa, one more thing. She knows that content writing intimidates her. She knows she can do it, but it sounds too big for her.
Then start small. Start small.
Yep, start small.
Start writing 2 sentences a day, 3 sentences, then add up. You wrote this comment right now, and believe it or not, the question you asked, and you opening up right now to us, that's content. You basically, in 2 questions, you can now make 1 piece of content and then add whatever you learned from here, and that's already 2 pieces. And the only thing you did is you talked about the struggle of writing content. You can talk about you were winning essay writing contests when you were young, but now you're not sure you want to pursue. You talk about that. The thing that's really stopping Clarissa right now is not her talent and everything. What's stopping her is the idea that people will judge her, right? Clarissa, I don't know you personally, but I'm sure that's what I'm thinking in your head right now. You're like, what are my friends gonna think when I'm now posting and talking about these things? But you shouldn't think about what anyone's gonna think. The moment that you let other people affect how you think or how you do things, you're not gonna be successful. Because you should be I don't care what anyone else thinks. If I'm doing something good, I'm gonna keep doing it and then just keep working on it. So remove that fear. It's easier said than done, but you have to cross that bridge where you're okay, I don't care about what people think about me. I don't care. I'm gonna keep writing. I want to be a content writer. I'm gonna do this consistently every day until I'm the best.
Totally, totally agree. By the way, guys, if you're having any know in the comments, because if so, I'll try to refresh the interview. So just type in the comments below because I could hear some choppiness on my end. But if it's okay for you guys, then we'll keep going without refreshing. A lot of guys are saying they're gonna start writing for they're gonna do the English writing challenge starting today. So go ahead and do that. I'll give you the URL again where you can go ahead and join us in the writing challenge. Oh, here we go. And let me hide this. Oh, give me 1 second.
Thank you too. That's pretty. Thank you for existing. I'm happy that I exist, to be honest.
Yeah.
Happy to be alive.
Okay. Oh, and Abalo, thanks for the idea. My biggest struggle is being consistent on writing daily. I'll definitely have to start now. Any book suggestion that helped you enormously?
Book. There's no specific book that helped me become a consistent like writer. To be honest, there's no book on that. For me, at least for me, there wasn't like a book that I read and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a writer. No. What? But one book that did. Oh, but if okay, I'm gonna answer it two ways. Sorry, I just want to keep giving so much value to you to the question. So two things. One, who there was a person though that helped me become a better writer or helped me earn money from writing. So search him on YouTube. His name is Jay Abraham, Jay space Abraham. Like this guy, when I saw his stuff and how he's writing and all that, he's one of the most popular copywriters in the world. He's still alive,
Yeah.
by the way. When I watched his videos, I was like, wow, like so this is how you write content. This is like mind blowing. So that's my guy. It's not a book, but he's a guy. But there's one book though that I really, really love and I really live by up to this day. It's called Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, so what that book's about is it talks about how you should be giving value, giving value, giving value. Just keep giving value before you ask for something or before you try to sell something. So that's been my whole motto ever since I've read that. It's just I always give value. Like if you check my Facebook page or my Facebook profile, if you go to my events or like if you've known me for a while, I don't really sell so much. Like I don't really like sell things. I want to give you value first. And then if you're super happy with me, then maybe I can invite you to a workshop where you have to pay a little bit. But like that's it. I don't like I really believe in giving value first before you try to like, oh, buy my course or whatever. Like that's crazy. No one's gonna buy from you if you just like keep pushing and pushing. Right. So those are my two things. So check J Abraham if you like want to learn more about content and copywriting, and then read this book by Gary Vaynerchuk. It's Jab 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 Right Hook. Yeah.
And I follow Gary as well. He's a pretty cool guy. I want to meet him someday. I'll probably fly over. Anyway, book suggestion. I would suggest this book here. I read it a couple of years ago by Jeff Olson. I just googled the book, and it's about making small changes and how those small changes can accumulate and have a big effect in your life, like compounded interest. Where if you start writing 500 words a day at your, like what Nick said, you'll be one of the best writers, and that is kind of the whole concept of the Slide Edge. So it's a book I would recommend, and that's kind of relevant to the discussion. So go ahead and check that out. Dudes joining the challenge. I'm just running through the comments here. Hanilet and Emmanuel, like hi as well. Charm doesn't like writing, but she's joining the challenge. And this is one thing you guys can do. If you don't like doing something, do it. Just like what Charm is doing here.
That's nice.
Oh, Thank you. Good. You've also mentioned Canva. I used that for another client. 7 images for $14. Okay. Okay. You're in.
It's good. You can start charging them like $21 now, so making like $3 per image. Why not?
Yeah. Word. Cynthia is sharing. She wasn't confident in speaking before, but after passing an interview in a call center and reaching the final interview, I totally overcame my fears. Nice. So using the call center to practice rather than looking for a job. That's a good one. Rick says asking about when you use Fiverr, Odesk, direct. I know you mentioned a lot of it was through word by mouth, but do you have any tips for the transition?
Okay. Um, the trend. Okay, so I want to clarify this. So I actually didn't start on Fiverr and Odesk. So what I started doing directly to clients on forums, I messaged them and asked them if I could do something for them, if I could give them value, if I could like write for them. I just joined Fiverr because I saw it was a good opportunity to do something else. So on Fiverr, I did content, I did a basic on-page SEO, and I did the guerrilla marketing for music promotion for rappers and artists on SoundCloud and forums. So it was just there. It wasn't where I started. I started going direct, and I just saw another avenue, another path where I could make a little bit more money, and I went there. So, but to answer you though, a good transition would be like I said, start if you're in Upwork right now, maybe you are. If you're on Upwork right now, ring up a few clients, like build a nice portfolio, build up your confidence, and then go direct. I'm not saying shut down your Upwork account, let it exist, just let it there. Like if someone hires you there, cool, why not, right? But while it's up there, while it's still live, you're now going on LinkedIn, looking for business owners, messaging people on LinkedIn, seeing how you can add value to them while you have an Upwork account. And then imagine this, if you message 100 business owners on LinkedIn and one of them says yes, that's where it all starts. You only need one person to say yes to you and your life will probably change forever. So you don't need to like leave Upwork until you have a consistent, solid flow of clients outside of Upwork. I mean, why shut it down if it's giving you clients, right? But like eventually you will reach a point where you're like making more money outside of Upwork. So you'll be like, okay, bye Upwork. The time has come. I shall now move on, right? So that's kind of my advice for you, Rick C. I think.
Good stuff. Thanks. That's really good advice. Let's we're almost running out of time, so just running. Maybe would it be better to work on what you are confident already, or challenging yourself to something you're new so you can learn more?
Always like one thing about me, I don't really look. I believe in the power of mentors. I believe in like having someone looking up to someone who's done it. But I would like say to everyone right now, I only really follow one person, and one person only. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk. So like if I apologize if I caught some of his mannerisms, like I really love the person and I stick by to what he says, which is basically focus on your strengths and punt your weaknesses. So focus on what you're good at. Focus on what you're good at, and like if you're weak at something, then whatever. So I suck at math. I suck at numbers. Like I can't add 42 plus 37 in like longer than 10 seconds. I don't know, but like I just give that up, and then I focus on what I'm good at, which is marketing. I'm not creating a product because I'm not good at making products. I focus on what I'm good at. That's marketing. So although the idea of chasing something like, oh, this is a completely new thing, I want to learn it, even though that sounds sexy and exciting, it's not always the best path to go to. Like Jason, Jason, do you have experience in coding? Are you like
Little.
are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jason, are you like a
Yeah.
software engineer?
No, no.
Okay,
But
okay.
I can code like very little.
Okay, so like me and Jason, we can't be like bro, let's create our new tech startup and like let's code and like that sounds exciting for us like at the moment, but like then we realized we're not coders, we can't really build a software. So although it's exciting, it doesn't make sense for us. But what we're good at is what we're doing now, and we just keep improving and improving and improving, and just be the best at what you're good at. So I would really, really suggest that you focus on what you're good at. There's no harm in learning something that's totally different, but you have to work extra harder. If you're not good at social media now and you want to learn it, sure, I'm not stopping you, but make sure you're working harder than everyone else because you're competing with a tougher competition, and it's just the way it is. So that's really my answer to that.
Yeah, and I agree. You should focus on your strengths. That's why I never really went into some kinds of freelancing, like software development pays very well, but really looked into that. But what I would do want to say is sometimes it sometimes takes time for you to find what you're really good at. What freelancers do is they try different things first, because especially when you're still new, you don't
Right.
know about writing, you don't know so much about bookkeeping or online marketing. So you can try these things. Don't really commit to them, but you want to, just like if you're finding your favorite ice cream flavor,
Right.
you'll never know unless you try vanilla and chocolate. But if vanilla really is the best flavor. That's my that's my moral. That's the moral of the story. But no, you might want to try a couple of things before you find out, and you'll know when it's the thing for you. You'll know when it's the one. You'll just know. It's like, oh, this is. You'll fall in love with it. You'll find that you're really good at it all of a sudden. So you'll know. You'll
But
know when it's the one.
one thing
Um,
that people should remember though is that's good, but just be careful of what we call the new shiny object syndrome. Meaning,
oh, true.
you hear this and you're like, wow, so SEO, so you're gonna try to learn it and like try to make money of it. Like, be careful with that. Like, things can you can especially if you're new, you can get excited about certain things. Be careful of that. Just if you want to be a content writer, stick to that muna. Like, be good at that before you jump into the new shiny object that that you heard. Like, you heard some millionaire, like a freelancer making millions because of like. Take it easy. You have to take it easy.
Yeah, and I guess analogy I can use there for the shiny object syndrome is like if you're if you like you married to content writing, maybe you take a look at the market, you see there's content writing, there's SEO, but I'm kidding writing. If you're choosing who to marry, you see a couple of people, like you see a couple of different girls, um, and even though there's gonna be there's like a model passing by,
Mhm.
Gal Gadot from Wonder Woman, she's there. You've already you stick to and stick with content writing, even though content writing doesn't seem so exciting. You've made your commitment, even
Commit.
though like a good writer. Or for the females, like Chris Hemsworth, maybe you've already chosen like maybe social media marketing. So even if Chris Hemsworth, the guy in Thor, walks by, you're like, you know what, I heard this new shiny object.
Yeah.
I, I don't know if that made sense at all. Anyhow, Rogans, thank you for joining the bootcamp just now. Honeylet, it said she read your blog posts on Medium, so she really likes them. So what's your Medium? So I can
Oh, so my
medium.com slash.
no, it's actually my website. So my website's nixeniego.com. I built it through Medium. So if you go to nixeniego.com, that's basically my website. It's just hosted on Medium.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can head over to nixandhugo.com. You can read more about what Nix is saying. He shares a lot of value in his blog posts, in his Facebook group. He has a Facebook group for social media. What's it called again?
So actually, I have a Facebook group called Startup Marketing Philippines. That's Startup Space Marketing Space Philippines, and I really talk about some high level stuff there. If you really want to take marketing to the next level, so most of the things that we post there are stuff that you can't read anywhere else because some gurus are afraid of the people knowing the secrets, but I'm super transparent there. But you could also, the best way to really like absorb something from me is if you add me on Facebook directly. So I still have like 1,000 friends left that I could accommodate. So just add me on Facebook. Don't like my face. Just add me personally. Nix Eniego. Just search me up, and I'll accept your friend request, and we can hang out there.
All right, great to hear. We're a couple of minutes past closing, and I'm sure Nix will be glad to add a lot more value. We'll try to answer some of the questions in the comments as well. If you're not here with us live, or if we weren't able to answer your question, and you do have questions, feel free to ask them, and we'll answer them after the interview. So as we're closing out, Nix, it's sad, but we're out of time. I feel like there's still so much value. We might do a part 2 for this. Guys, let us know if you want part 2. Comment down below if you're too for this. We'll schedule something in the future. But as we close out, what advice do you have to new freelancers, aspiring freelancers, to take in their freelance career and freelance business?
Right. For new ones, I'm not going to go over the usual things because I'm sure you already know that you have to build a but there's one thing that I want to impart to you guys right now, which really changed me, or which really changed the trajectory of my career, is I built my personal brand. I worked hard on building a personal brand, meaning I worked hard on being known as a marketer, or one of the best in marketing. I worked on that. For you, if you're a newbie freelance, and if let's say you're like a newbie graphic designer, build a brand. Like you are on the journey of becoming one of the best graphic designers in the country. Tell that to everyone. Like post on Facebook about what your latest projects are. Tell people about what you think about the new trends on design. Like create content, be a thought leader, be an industry authority on whatever you're trying to start, even if you're still starting, even if you're still just a newbie. Don't think that you're a newbie. Who cares, right? Whatever. No one cares. Just keep saying that. Yeah, I'm on the path to becoming one of the best graphic designers in the Philippines. Here's my work, and I'm going to improve every day. Talk about that. Talk about your process. Talk about one of the clients that you had, and if you have a good experience with that, like share it. Share your wins. Build your brand, personal brand on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Be there. Create a brand. Create your personal brand, your name, whoever you are. So just do that, and do that consistently for a year, 2 years, whatever. And I promise you, you will reap the benefits of it. Like I'm sure if you do it, if you work on your personal brand now, 1 year later, 2 years later, not only will you be getting more clients, not only will you be getting more high level clients and opportunities, you will also be a better person in general because you've helped people along the way, along your way to becoming whatever you want to be. So that's my tip: build a personal brand starting today, not when you're 3 months or 3 years in. Today, start today.
All right, that's great advice. Build a personal brand, and it's a lot of people are asking for part 2, so we'll look into that. If you guys watching right now want to watch our previous episodes, you can head over to our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of YouTube videos. Almost every day we produce a new video, so check it out. But just want to thank you, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from you soon. And I want to thank everybody who stayed on and everybody who's watching the replay as well. I want to wish all of you guys a good evening, and bye everybody.
Bye guys. Thank you.